in this video, we're gonna work on a practice question that is related to your homework that is due this week, 11 p.m. And so for this question, it's related to the finding the the price of Disney tickets. Okay, so let's look at the question together. As we're reading it, you also should think about it. How should I use the knowledge we learned so far, especially from the previous video, to understand how to calculate the finding the answer. When Disney's Magic Kingdom in Orlando, Florida opened in 1971, the price of the admission was $3 per day. As many of you are able to visit Disney recently, you know that's not the price anymore, right? So it's like $100, $200 a day now. It's very expensive. But keep in mind, what we're talking about here, the $3 is measured in 1971. Okay, so that also means your parents are not making $80,000 a year in 1971. So it's different value, right? So that $3 in 1971 is different from what we see nowadays. Okay, now let's keep reading. In 2020, the ticket price was $100 per day. The CPI index was 40.5 in 1971 and 261 in 2020. What was the 1971 price in 2020 dollars? Okay, so I think for this question should remind you something we already learned previously in class about building that ratio. That is when we are learning real and the nominal GDP and how we are able to do the conversion. Okay, so the same idea. But I want to going back to link this with the equation we just learned in the previous slides, which is this one. Okay, so we are building this ratio. On one side is the ratio of the price index. The other side is the price. Okay, so therefore, the only thing we need to match is make sure the numerator are matching years and the denominator matching years. So let's see, the price index on the denominator is 2000 and the basket price in the denominator also has to be 2000. Okay, so we are building this ratio. So we are applying this formula to solve this question. Okay, so first we need to write down an equation. So apparently here is related to 2 years. One is 1971, the other is 2020. So you can put a 2020 on the top, or you also can put a 1971 on the top. You just want to make sure that both sides are matching the years on the numerator and the denominator. So let's see, I pick 2021 on my numerator. And then, so therefore, here will be the price index. And here also going to be the price index, right? So that's the ratio of the price index. And we'll make sure we're matching the year on the right-hand side, okay? So now the question is, what should be my numerator? What should my denominator here? So the question is asked, what was the 1971 price? So basically, we are looking at the ticket price in 1971, and we want to converting that to our 2020 dollar values, right? So that's why I said, what was the 1971 price, which is your $3, and then converting that to be measured under the dollar value in 2022. So therefore, the question mark will be left here. So we are trying to figure out, so for that $3, what it should be if we use the 2020 dollars to measure it. Okay, so now we're building this equation, and we just need to plug in the values and then figure out the value for the question mark. So therefore, the price index for 2020, it is 261 divided by, and 1971's price index is 40.5. That equal to the question mark divided by the price in 1971 is $3. Okay, now you are able to move around your formulas to figure out this question mark. Say, let's look at the answer. Okay, so if you move around the formulas, and that is what you get. It is equal to $19.33 per day. Okay, so now you know for the Disney, the 2020 actual price they charge $100 is not just about inflation. it is about, hey, Disney does charge more prices, right? So some students say, oh my God, they are scamming the consumers. They are not just only considering the inflation, they literally charge way more. So you can see almost $80 more after adjusting inflation, right? So why is that? So if you ask your parents if they have opportunity to go to Disney Magic Kingdom in 1971, and they will tell you it is totally different. They don't have those Harry Potter fancy rides. They only have those basic rides. There are no roller coaster. Everything are very basic. Okay, so the price change from this after we adjust the inflation, which is about $20, right? So they literally change to $100 because that $80 change is reflecting the quality. That's one thing. The second is also reflecting the demand and the supply, right? In 1971, I think most people visiting the Disney World or Magic Kingdom is just from United States. Okay, nowadays when you're visiting the Magic Kingdom, you are able to see the tourists all over the world, from Japan, from China, from South Korea. Sorry, I give you a lot of Asian countries name because I came from Asia. So therefore, this price rise not only just about the quality change, we get a better quality right, more, and but also reflecting the Disney does get more demand because their market share is no longer just about domestic market, but also a global customer. Okay, so therefore, in this question, we able to converting our $3 in 1971 to 2020 dollar value, so that we are able to understand, hey, nowadays we do charge $100. Is that all due to the inflation, or actually is there some other economic factor to driven this high price? So the conclusion here is, if the Magic Kingdom only consider inflation, the price should be only $20. The reason we become $100 because there's some other economic factor, like I talk about. First, the quality of the goods improved. We're adding more ride, more risky ride, more higher insurance. And of course, second is due to we have more demand on the Magic Kingdom because the tourists now are global tourists. It's no longer just from United States, right? So hope this question not only help you understand how to use the formula we did to identify the inflation adjusted price, but also help you to understand the economic reason behind the actual price, right? It's not just about inflation, but also about quality of change and the supply and demand changes. Okay, so good luck with your homework, because like I said, you are seeing the similar homework assignments, and make sure you know how to apply the similar analytical procedure to answer the question in your homework on Connect. Bye.